Kevin Durant scores 40 points in 44 minutes and doesn't take a meaningful shot in the last 4. From the Opupco Studios in Oklahoma City, I'm Mike Sherman, and this is Inside Thunder Basketball with Darnell Mayberry. And we're talking about the Thunder's loss to the Los Angeles Clippers Sunday night at the Ford Center. Another big game for Kevin Durant, Darnell. But in the last 4 minutes, he takes one shot, and it's a meaningless shot. It's a throw after the game had already been decided. What happened?
Well, I think what happened is, they got rattled down the stretch. I mean, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Jeff Green, those guys really didn't know how to execute with the games on the line. I think Russell Westbrook came down, forced a couple things early in the shot clock, didn't get the ball to Kevin Durant. The one thing that really stood out to me, Kevin Durant had Baron Davis on him one time in the post, and he's sitting over there with his arms up, begging for the ball, and Russell Westbrook takes it on the opposite side of the court and doesn't give Kevin Durant the opportunity to take the much smaller Baron Davis in the post. So, to me, it was just bad decision-making, not just on Russell Westbrook, but on a lot of people's part, not recognizing the hot hand.
Do you think, Darnell, that Kevin Durant's unselfish nature and the fact that these guys are young players all growing up together actually works against him in situations like this?
That's a good point. I do agree with that. I mean, I think sometimes Kevin Durant is more passive than he needs to be. A lot of people have that dog in them late in games. I mean, we saw it here in town with Chris Paul. He had it from the day one of his rookie year. He would demand the ball and make a play down the stretch. I think Kevin Durant needs to get to that point. When he has a Baron Davis on him late in the game like that, I think he needs to really get to the point where he demands the ball and hoots and hollers and does whatever he needs to do to get a touch. He's not getting touches down the stretch late in games, and I think that sort of falls on him more than anyone else, whether it's Coach Brooks, Russell Westbrook, or anyone else on the court. Durant has to demand the ball.
Okay, the Thunder loses 101-93 to the Clippers. One night after going to San Antonio, Darnell, and beating the San Antonio Spurs 101-98, which raises another question. When the Thunder's got all three of its best three players really clicking, really producing, is this one of the better teams in the NBA?
I would say so. I mean, you look at Kevin Durant, Jeff Green, Russell Westbrook, when they're making their shots, when they're playing good defense, I think they can compete with anyone. They showed that against the Los Angeles Lakers. They played like that against the San Antonio Spurs, like you said. They went to Detroit, and they played well as a unit, and I think, when they do that, they win. But more importantly, I think Nenad Kirstic, when he's knocking down shots, Thabo Sefolosha, when he's playing lockdown defense, and Natan Thomas is getting energy and effort off the bench and in the post, that's when the Thunder is really clicking. It's more than those three guys, but I think it starts with those three guys.
The Thunder's 5-5, and we're going to be writing for weeks. Comparisons to last year wasn't until January 6th when they got their 5th win. We'll just go on and on. But now let's talk about this week, the week coming up. A lot of games this week. The Thunder plays 4 times between Tuesday and Sunday. And Darnell, I'll just say the name, the opponent, where it is, and I want the first thing that comes to your mind. First of all, let's go Tuesday night in Miami.
South Beach.
I'm talking basketball.
Well, Miami, I think South Beach. The next thing I think, Mike Baldwin on South Beach.
Listen, easy guy.
Okay.
Let's take it on the basketball court. Our man Mike Baldwin's covering that game for us. Not the kind of guy who will really be strolling.
You don't want to see him with a shirt off on South Beach.
Okay, let's talk basketball, like I said.
I think Dwayne Wade. I mean, you look at a guy who was had an MVP caliber season last season. He really hurt the Thunder in Miami last season. He had a game-winning shot. I think it was over Desmond Mason or Thabo Sefolosha, I can't remember, but he really had an impressive play down the stretch in Miami and sort of took over that game. He's a phenomenal player. I also look at Michael Beasley, a guy I'm writing about who's for Tuesday's paper, who's trying to overcome trials and tribulations in his career, former number 2 overall pick, friends with Kevin Durant. Those are the things that I think about and I watch closely for in these games, those 2 players.
Okay, next night, back-to-back nights at Orlando. What comes to mind there?
Dwight Howard. He's going to come into this game focused and ready to play after he was basically shut down by his standards against the Thunder in this building. A 28-point blowout. He was held at 20 points, 7 rebounds, no block shots. I think he's going to want to bounce back against the Thunder.
Van Gundy really got on the Magic about whether they wanted to play defense or not. That was a tough game for them. Okay, then Friday night, the Thunder comes home to play the Washington Wizards. Big smile
My
there?
heart goes pity-pat. Gilbert Arenas, Karan Butler, Antoine Jameson is making his season debut this week, so he should be healthy. The Wizards have gotten off to a slow start, but I think they're looking to rebound. A lot of people projected them to be in the playoffs this season after missing Gilbert Arenas for all of last season, or 80 games of last season. So this is a team that's trying to climb back up and reclaim one of those 4 top 5 seeds in the Eastern Conference. So that should be a fun game.
Your Wizards, your man Gilbert Arenas, who says what? Hibachi, Agent Zero, they're all back? I'm talking again?
Hey, as long as he's playing, I think he's a fun player to watch. You should enjoy him Friday night.
Okay, and then on Sunday, to cap the week, the Thunder goes to L.A. to play the Lakers. You'll be there.
I'll be there. Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol, the defending champions, Ron Artest, Lamar Odom. I mean, it's a star-studded event anytime that you play the Lakers in Staples Center. They played them well here, the Thunder I'm speaking of. They played them well here. They took them to overtime. Can they duplicate that same success on the road? I think that's the key that you want to look forward to. 2
games this week against last year's NBA Finals participants. 2 games against teams, those finals participants that the Oklahoma City Thunder played well against here in Oklahoma City, but now they're on the road. Be interesting to see how that turns out. Follow all the best coverage anywhere on the Thunder and the NBA every day at News OK and every morning in the Oklahoman.